All right, welcome to another episode of High Proof Ashes. I am your co-host, Jason JB Smoke, and I am with my other co-host over here.
Doran, and as usual, I do not have a cool nickname yet, and we might be working on it and might not be working on it, but who knows?
We might get there, we might not.
Yeah.
I think that's that's the fun of it, right?
Yeah, that's my thing.
So, to continue the theme of trying things that you haven't tried before,
That is correct.
we are going to try this super dark Gispert Intenso.
Yeah, man.
And this thing's been around for a little while, something like 5 or 10 years. And while it's labeled as a Gispert, this is a collab with AJ Fernandez.
Right.
And
One of my favorites.
Love AJ Fernandez.
Classic manufacturer.
AJ actually makes this for Gispert, so they don't make it. But it has that beautiful Connecticut broadleaf on it. I mean, it's just, I hope you can really see that on camera. And
phenomenal smell.
Right, so good. And not that I intended to, but it is a torpedo, which is, one of your loves.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get a cut on this. But why don't you introduce it to our bourbons over here, or I don't actually know if they're both bourbons.
Well, I'll introduce one, right?
Oh yeah, I'll do the other one.
Introduce one.
Yeah.
I'll take care of the Eagle Rare. That's an Eagle Rare 10.
Yes.
If you know anything about bourbon, you know Eagle Rare, right? Like, it's from a classic distillery.
It's one of those you just got to know, right?
You got to know it. Like, if you say you're a bourbon person, you've got to know Eagle Rare. It comes in around the $40 price point. It's what, 90 proof? I think
Is
it's
it
90 proof?
90?
Is it 90 proof?
Check it out.
I can't remember. Can't remember off the top of my head. Yes, 90 proof.
90 proof. Okay. It's super flavorful.
Amazing bottle for $40, right? It is one of their flagship bourbons. Really hard to find in a lot of places.
Yeah.
But if you can get your hands on a bottle, well worth the drink.
It's a very, very enjoyable drink.
Absolutely.
And continuing with one of our themes, we have the Silver Springs Sweet Rye. And, we've told you before, don't let the rye scare you. But this one is a rye, technically. And it is bottled in Chattanooga, which I think is really cool. We've talked about Chattanooga whiskey, but this is a different one. This one is Keeper's Quest brands. Don't know a whole lot about them, but this one definitely meets the criteria. I think it's about $35.
Okay.
It's over 4 years, 4.5, I think is the claim.
Okay.
And this particular bottle is almost 109 proof.
Okay.
So this is one of those weird bottles you might see in your store that you're just like, what is this?
Yeah. Walk past it, never know.
Yeah. And it met the criteria, so I was like, I'll give it a chance.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy it. And it's a little more than half gone. So
it means some other people have enjoyed it as well.
Of course they have.
Yeah, absolutely.
We bring bottles like this to our group and have them try it and really give us some honest opinion about it, so we can bring it to you. And I'm going to start with this one.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to go the opposite.
I'm
going to start Eagle Rare.
All right. Not a bad idea. Lower proof. Maybe build yourself up a little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
But this one here, the Sweet Rye is a really good claim to it. It doesn't have that bite like a lot of ryes have. It's a lot sweeter.
The rye spice.
I'm sorry.
The
rye
spice.
That's right. It doesn't even smell like a rye. And that one there is just going to have just a classic smell to it.
It does, right? So you get those kind of leather oaky notes.
Yeah.
I'm really, again, I think I've said on the podcast a million times, like, I'm a big fan of Buffalo Trace Distillery. I don't feel like you can go wrong with anything in their line.
That's right.
Let me not say, I don't know, benchmark is questionable.
I hear that some of it is passable, right?
I like the foolproof.
Right. They've got several different iterations of it.
But it is very much their entry line.
Right.
But the Eagle Rare, man, like, if you've watched any of the bourbon documentaries out there, you'll know that
you have to try Eagle Rare.
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't tried it, you really need to try it.
But let's see here. I'm gonna try to steal one of your lighters.
Oh yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Light first here. Like I said, I'm feeling like a rookie. I showed up to record today and
a little unprepared.
Unprepared. Both my lighters don't have any fluid in them, and I broke my my trusty one.
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
I had a $14 lighter that I had for 2 years.
And again, one of those you don't have to break the bank.
No, man. Like I was
Firebird, wasn't it?
Can't
remember. I think it was a Firebird.
I think it was a Firebird.
Yeah.
Bought it at another little local, smoke shop here. Sitting on the porch, smoking. Went to stand up, forgot it was in my lap.
Yep.
Hit the ground and
shattered it.
It shattered.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, man. So hey, let's get started.
This is why you always have more than one lighter.
And so that's the thing. I've got a bunch of lighters. I just didn't put any fluid in these other ones. And that comes from, of course, we smoke a lot. So, right, 1 million people ask to borrow lighters. You hand out your lighters, and I'm bad about not checking.
So he's lighting there. Brand new cigar. Never had it before. Let's see what he thinks. Right off the bat, let's see what he thinks.
Oh man, it is definitely full flavor, full body. Yeah, that one kicks right away. Man,
yeah, that one's not. It's not shy.
Hold on. I get like a really chocolatey.
Yes.
Chocolate.
It's been a couple years since I've had this one actually.
Really?
Yeah. So it's almost new for me, right? Like this will be a little bit of a reminder for me. So I'm with you.
That broadleaf comes through, man. Right? Like it really does come through really, really well.
Oh boy. Yeah, that does not pull any punches.
No.
Wow.
So I know I said the Eagle Rare was oaky, but like this really gives me a nutty, kind of a nutty flavor to it.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Pause. Pause for my folks up north.
I love it.
I got y'all.
Love it.
You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't disappoint with the smoke production, right? The draw is amazing.
It's quite impressive.
This is a traditional brand, the Gispert. Most of their stuff is, traditional, kind of old world style. But they wanted to kind of break their own little mold and teamed up with AJ and said, we want something that's going to really, really grab a different audience.
Well, again, so one of the big things for me is looking at that band, right?
Right. Let's talk about that band.
Man, it's beautiful, right? So like, it's a copper rose gold, with
lots
black inlays.
Lots of it.
I mean, it is a beautiful band. Like the reflection when you turn, and look at all of the detail and just the artistry that they put into this to making it look really, really presentable. Because that's one of those things, right? Like when you go into a humidor. The job of a cigar is to call attention to itself.
That's right.
Right? Say, hey, come look at me.
That's right.
Come give this a shot.
Yeah.
And if I walked into a humidor and had never seen this before, it would make me go, hey, tell me about this. Because this band is absolutely beautiful and well done. But also like the beautiful dark wrapper on this cigar would immediately call out to me because I'm a full body fan, and anything this dark, 9 times out of 10 is going to be full body.
Yeah. And I tell you, even like right off the bat, the foot, like, you retro that a little bit, and there's so much flavor.
Yeah, man.
Like it's almost overwhelming.
Man, that's dude. You might have done it again. Might be
adding another one to his collection.
I gotta keep you out of my pockets. Keep you out of my pockets.
But it's a little variety, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not quite like anything you've probably ever had, right?
But it's right there different. Where I want it to be. Yes. It falls in my sweet spot, right? Like, so this is.
I know your palate.
Like,
I know your palate.
Yeah, man. Like dude, this is it. I like this a lot. Beautiful burn, right? Like the ash on the foot is just beautiful. Nice and tight, good looking ash. I mean, you can't ask for much more in a cigar. What's the price point look like on this retail?
Man, that's a great question. I want to say it's about $8 to $10, depending on the size.
That's even better.
I think so. I think that they've got 3 different sizes.
Okay.
This is the Torpedo. They have a Toro and a Corona.
Okay.
So the Corona is much smaller, and I think that one's going to run you about $8.
Okay.
But this one and the Toro, I think, run about $10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
that's
very
a great
affordable.
price.
Yeah, very
that's an
affordable.
approachable price on a cigar.
Yeah.
If you're someone who smokes on a regular basis, that's a very approachable price, right?
Yep.
It's not what we would consider high end.
Nope. Not like ultra premium.
But I'll tell you this: it smokes at its price range, right? Like so, a lot of cigars, unfortunately, you buy them at a certain price point, and they don't smoke up to that price point. There are some cigars that you buy that smoke over their price point,
right?
But this one, like, it's in the wheelhouse at $10. Full body, full flavor, great construction, beautiful band, beautiful wrapper. Where's the origin of this cigar? Is it Nicaraguan?
This is, it's supposed. I'm told, based on what I read, that it's a Nicaraguan Puro. But but I don't understand the whole, Connecticut broadleaf, right? So like that sounds like it's grown in Connecticut, right? But it's hailed as a Nicaraguan Puro. So I guess that means they're growing the Ecuadorian broadleaf in Nicaragua. I'm not entirely sure. Again, we've said this before. Like, we're not experts and connoisseurs, right? Very much average guys.
We're your average guys enjoying cigars, enjoying good spirits.
I mean, look at
most times bourbon.
Look at the smoke. The smoke production is.
Have you noticed I've gotten better with avoiding my face with the cigar?
No, I haven't.
I've been trying to make sure because
I guess I will in editing.
You told me like, hey, stop putting that cigar in front of your face.
I did too.
Trying to do better.
He I don't know. He switched hands or something. I'm not sure what he did, but
I'm just trying to keep it out my face, man. Like do better. Let the people see me. Thoughts, man. Tell me what you're thinking about what you're drinking.
Man, I'm going to tell you. This cigar is. I hate that I let this one go to the wayside.
Really?
For so long, because it is so good, and it's a shame. Unfortunately, there's so much out there, and there's only so many things you can put in your regular rotation. But that's just one of those that's just is so good. As far as the bourbon goes, actually, I'm calling it a bourbon. It's a whiskey.
Okay. Man, you keep taking us down this rabbit hole of whiskeys, man.
The Eagle Rare's a bourbon, right?
Yeah,
it's a bourbon. I mean, it's high proof ashes, right? And so I think we said before that it's not always going to be about bourbon. And
getting something there.
You know what I love about it is 2 things. One, it doesn't even drink close to 108. This drinks like a 90.
Yeah.
And I think it's 36% rye.
Okay.
And you wouldn't even know it. I don't know what kind of rye is in this thing, but whatever they did
it well.
They did it very well.
Okay.
I mean, unless you're that rye guy that wants that spice.
Right?
Yeah. This is not for you if that's what you want. But it is just so smooth. And it is sweet. Like, it's exactly what it says. It's a sweet rye.
So I've had it before. It's not my glass at the moment because I poured Eagle Rare to start, but I'm going to get to it in a little bit. But I do enjoy it, right? Like you said, it doesn't drink at that 108. Very enjoyable on the palate. The rye notes come through very subtly. So that's always a plus for me. As I go down the journey of different ryes and different builds of each bourbon and whiskey, I'm finding more and more ryes that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Right. So I know we did several that we do on Whiskey Wednesday, right? Corey is big about bringing new ryes and let us try them out.
He is.
Can't wait to get him on the podcast. Like, when you meet Corey, you'll understand why we drink so well, and why we can do it affordably.
Yes.
Right.
Well, he brings in stuff that we would probably not normally buy, and we can try and say, I don't really like that, or yeah, I love that. Go get the bottle.
Yeah.
You know, so he really helps us with the journey, honestly.
I agree.
And so, and hopefully we're helping you.
If not, continue watching. Eventually you'll find something that you
I
like.
think you will. Yeah. We're going to have a lot of variety. You know, we said last episode, we're going to do a beer episode. We're going to do a wine episode. And that's going to be really interesting for you because you're not a big wine guy.
I'm not, man. I don't, and I've tried a lot to get into wine. And I guess I just haven't ran across the right one yet. There are a few out there that I can tolerate, but it's just not something that I find myself wanting to drink on a regular basis. But hopefully you'll help get me there.
Hopefully. I got several different kinds. So I actually did wine just the other night. And I hadn't done a wine night in a while. And it's nice to throw in the bit of change and variety, you know. You don't have to be so stingy, I guess, or measured with the wine as much as you do with the spirits. You know, it's much lower proof. You know, most wines are in the 14 to 15% range.
Okay.
So, and beer is typically even less.
Yeah.
So, but
so taking a look at, that burn there.
It's a beautiful ash.
Right. The ash is very nice. I'm amazed at how very good this cigar is, right? Like,
you're amazed that there is yet something else out there
because,
that you haven't tried
again, I've just said
blows you away.
I've said I'm a traditionalist when it comes to cigars, right? I stick to those traditional brands.
This is a traditional brand. Not their traditional line,
right? But see, I've never heard of Gispert.
They're very much traditional.
AJ Fernandez, right?
This particular one is, but they make most of their other stuff themselves. Okay. Yeah.
But so I'm a huge fan of AJ Fernandez, right? Like huge fan, right? Like,
it even says on here when they established the brand. What is that? It's really small.
Maybe I got bad eyes, man.
Mine ain't that great either. I think that says 1940. It might say 1840. I can't really tell. But I mean, they've been around for a minute.
Okay. Very good. Very flavorful.
So this is what's going on here is exactly one of our themes that I'm getting him to try things that he's never tried before, and hopefully we can help you try things that you've never tried before.
Agreed.
And we've said it before that you don't have to break the bank. Like I said, I think it's $8 to $10, and it's really good. Not going to find this everywhere. You'll have to probably go to one of your larger shops to get this.
Okay.
You may even have to request it. I don't know. But very flavorful.
Dude, again,
so,
all I can say is you've done it again.
Like, and when I say, like it's blowing you away, I don't mean to say like it's a cigar that blows you away all the time, right? It's not an opus, right? And it's not trying to be that.
No, not at all. But for what it is.
Right.
Right.
For me handing it to you and saying, hey, this is an $8 to $10 cigar, and I think you're going to love it.
Yeah. And as you've said,
it's surprising
you've gotten to the point where you know what I smoke, right? Or what I like to smoke. And with your well-rounded knowledge of cigars, you can point me in the direction of different things that I haven't tried before that might meet, those requirements. So those requirements for me are great smoke production, good build, right? When I say good build, what does that mean? It means good construction of a cigar, right? Like, so it's going to not unravel when I smoke it or when I cut it. Because if you've ever cut a bad cigar, right, they tend to unravel and do weird things.
Well humidified,
right? And I'm noticing we didn't point this out previously. This is a box press.
Yes,
this is a box press.
So I feel some kind of way about box press.
Okay.
I don't know that we've ever talked about this.
No, we have not. So give me the info. What you mean? You feel some type of way?
I love a box press.
Okay.
Like. I don't know. Out of all the different shapes, vitolas, whatever you want to call them. There's something about that box press that just really calls to me, and I absolutely love it when they do a box press and a torpedo.
Yeah, man. Like it's special, right?
Because you still get the round end, but you're getting all of the specialness of the box press.
Yes.
And it's just I don't know, it's a different experience. It's a different burn. The flavors come out a little differently. I don't know.
So if you can, we'll zoom in a little bit, right? But like when you look at box press, you'll see that it actually looks like a box, right? If you turn this all the way around, most cigars are rounded. This one is legitimately a box, right? So, that's your box press. But again, you'll look at how well that ash is holding up, right? Like there's no flex in that. I mean, this is a well constructed cigar, man. Especially at $8 to $10.
As again, should be from AJ.
AJ, right? Like, and they're really good at box press. AJ is really good at box press.
Yeah. Like we smoked that Cameroon and it's box press.
Yep. But I'm gonna ash because Jason has these beautiful chairs, and I don't want to accidentally, mess it up because I don't want no problems with his wife. So go ahead and ash. You look at that beautiful cherry right there that was underneath the ash. Yeah. I mean, this thing is well made, super flavorful. Please go out and try to find yourself one of these if you can. The Gispert Intenso. This is the Bellicoso.
No, this is Torpedo.
Well,
the box press Torpedo.
Okay. So I thought when I looked at the wrapper, it said something about a Bellicoso on it, but maybe not.
Well, let's see. I mean, I could be wrong.
Well, am I going to stump the cigar guy? Am I going to stump the cigar guy? We got him digging through the trash for this one.
Oh, it does say Bellicoso.
Oh, man. I got him.
It does say Bellicoso.
Got him. Bellicoso.
Okay. So the funny thing about the cigar names of sizes, there's no standard.
No, they just make it up as they go.
Like, they totally make this up. I mean, if you didn't tell me it was a Bellicoso, I would have just said it's a box press Torpedo.
Yes.
So Bellicoso does not insinuate a box press.
No, not at all. Actually, Bellicoso normally is a little bit smaller.
Yes.
Normally a little bit smaller.
But typically is you know what? So this isn't a Torpedo because it didn't come to a point. It was more blunt.
Okay.
On the end. So maybe that's their.
Maybe.
I don't know.
We'll never know.
I don't know. But I love that it is surprising you. Love that.
And it pairs so well with the Eagle Rare. So I'm interested to see how it pairs with my next pour, which actually we're at that point in the podcast where it's probably about time for us to switch. Go ahead and let Jason finish his. Did he finish it? No? Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and finish mine. I went a little bit lighter on the pour, so. Go ahead and rinse my glass here.
So, something we cover in every episode, be responsible. Yeah, so this is a podcast about, cigars and spirits, but definitely be responsible. Know your limits. Drink plenty of water. Pretty much every episode you're going to see us have these big honking things of water, and you definitely want to hydrate.
Like realistically, when the podcast is over, I'm going to down a ton of water.
Yeah.
To make sure that, I offset the bourbon and whiskey that I drink.
Yes.
All right, so let's see what we got here. Silver Springs Sweet Rye. Jason, like he said, it comes in at 108 proof. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. I'm looking at something different here. That's 65% rye. So this is 65% rye, 15% corn.
I said 36. It's
20% malted barley.
How much rye?
It is 65% rye.
And God, you wouldn't even know it.
No. It's one of my favorite sounds is the cork coming out of a bottle, man. Just means it's the end of a day. I get to relax, hang out with one of my favorite people.
Yeah. A lot of fun, man. So, give me a little bit of Eagle Rare here. This is a special pour. This is not something you're going to drink every day.
No.
It's a 10-year. They do have a couple of other older, more rare,
Yeah.
bottles.
Eagle Rare 17 is
Man.
Whew. If I could only get my hands on a bottle.
I'm gonna tell you what, that Eagle Rare, that 17.
If I could only get my hands on a bottle.
And then they have a double Eagle Rare.
Yes.
That's like a special bottle.
I haven't even tried that yet.
Like it's crystal. There's a
beautiful.
glass
It's a
eagle inside of
Oh.
it. There's an eagle on the topper, I think, and it's in a box and it's authenticated. Like
it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
a whole beautiful. Like presentation. Yeah. Man, that is.
I'm just so impressed with the cigar, man.
I love it. I love that you're that impressed with it.
I am very impressed.
So out of all the new ones that you've smoked, where does this one rank? So between the Espada and the Romeo 505.
The 505 is still it.
Okay.
The 505 is still the one. Like, and I added quite a few of those to the collection.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you did.
The 505 is the new joint. And so what's funny is you gave me the 505 and I tried it, and then you let me have an additional one, and we were having an event at the lounge. And one of our friends, Brandon Malone, came and said, "Hey, man, what you got in your box? Anything I haven't tried?" I said, "Dude, I only have this one, but I'm going to let you have it." Right? Because I knew I could come back and see my boy Jason and get another one if I needed it. Right? But I gave it to him. 2 days later, he was at another cigar lounge. He was like, "Look, that cigar was so good, I bought one." And he sent me a picture of him holding the Romeo 505. And I was like, Dude, this thing.
That's what I'm talking about.
Man. Love it. Love it. So that's still the one up to this point.
Okay.
But this one it fits in very nicely. The Espada was good. But I think the 505 is where we're at.
Okay.
As far as what we've done so far.
So we might need to try the San Andreas. So it's another one. That's the next one that Romeo put out.
Okay.
As part of that portfolio of grabbing, newer, younger audience.
Okay.
And that's the other one that I really enjoy. I don't know that I like it better than the 505. Like, it's good. They really hit it out of the park with that.
Dude, that thing is special.
And for that price, like $8 to $10, whatever it is. Like, I think that's about what it is.
Yeah. I like it a lot. Oh, before I forget, thank you for watching the podcast. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that little bell so that you know when we post new episodes. We greatly appreciate you coming back and enjoying a glass of bourbon and a cigar with us.
Yeah.
Please do it responsibly, but make sure that you lock in with us and see what we have coming.
Yeah, and we're definitely working on getting more regular. This is episode 5, and so we're working on getting more regular, and you definitely want to know when we're gonna drop another one.
Yeah. We had some life events come up recently, so
we did.
We were a little.
Life happens.
Yeah,
right.
Life happens, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Both of us very busy individuals, so we take times out of our schedule to do this, and not just because we're trying to do anything special, but I get to hang out with Jason, and we get to smoke and drink and experience some new things together and really enjoy this culture, which is cigar and bourbon culture. And of course, I think it's been a little while since we've mentioned Tin Caps, Tennessee Cigars and Bourbon Society, which is our nonprofit organization.
Yes.
So we look to put on events about cigars and bourbon, but take that money that we get from those events and do things in the community.
Yeah.
So one of our first things that we're doing is trying to get a wheelchair for one of our friends.
Yes.
So with that being said, check out the Tennessee Cigars and Bourbon Society, Instagram, Facebook, all of those things. And I'll get Jason to throw some links in there in the editing for you guys to take a look and see all the wonderful things that we're doing in our local community, and hope to expand, as far as we can take our reach.
And definitely, follow us. And we've got some events coming down the pipeline. Hopefully we'll be announcing them soon.
Yeah.
But just helping out the community. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
We're all about community, the cigar and bourbon community, and just the community at large.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So
Again, like this is just
pleasantly surprised.
yeah. I keep saying it, but like because what really gets me is the fact that you can keep pulling out cigars that I'm like, man, I've never tried that, but I like that, right? Like, so that's a big deal for me because
Yeah.
I'm a creature of habit. So once I find something that I enjoy, I stay there.
I'm expanding that palette, aren't
Yeah, we are, and that's a problem because, like I said, stay out my pocket. You know, Jason making me go out here and buy more stuff, get more cigars.
I'm just giving you some variety.
Yeah,
That's
man,
all.
I appreciate
Look, variety's the spice of life, right?
it. Depends on what we're talking about. Our wives might not think that.
Eh.
They might not enjoy us thinking about variety.
No, they probably wouldn't.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Man, that is
I'm
so
going to tell you.
special.
I haven't had one of these in a few years, and this is really good.
It's creeping, like,
It's up there, isn't it?
and the more I smoke, the more I'm like, I want to smoke it some more, right? Like,
Right.
it can't be that good for $8 to $10, right?
It's that good.
It's that good. It really is.
It at the very minimum, it smokes at its price point.
Absolutely.
It might actually smoke a little.
I was about to say, are we
a
gonna
little above? A little
are we
above?
gonna
Yeah.
say
This
you could
might.
creep this in at 13?
Yeah.
You could creep this one in at 13?
Yeah,
and
man. Like I'm thinking about the UC10. Like this is
Nah,
right under that.
I was about to say, don't you do it.
It's not.
It's not the UC10.
It's not. But it's like it's right there.
It's definitely in the stratosphere.
It's right there. And it's super affordable. So look, don't be afraid to try new stuff. And you know, I'm throwing a new cigar to him and you know,
because I'm afraid to try new stuff. I'm afraid to spend my money on something that I might
you
dislike.
might not. Yeah. But I think I have a pretty good feel for what your palate is.
Yeah, and the only reason I try all of these
I knew you would
cigars
love
is,
this.
Yeah,
I knew you would love this.
I try all of these cigars because Jason gives them to me for free. So like that's really the key, right? Like I come hang out with my buddy and he's like, you got to try this, and I get it for free. It's not really for free. He'll tax me on something later.
I'll get him on something. Right?
He'll tax me on something later.
I'll get him on something later. It's very, very much a quid pro quo, right?
Yeah, that's part of the culture, though, man. We give and exchange stuff all the time. It's a community that loves to share, right? So that's the beauty of the cigar and bourbon community. We love to share, love to see people try new things, right? Like, it's definitely one of those beautiful things about life. What you got on that Eagle Rare, man?
Man, it's just so good.
Yeah.
It's just so good. It's so smooth.
Top shelf $40 bottle.
Crazy, right?
Top shelf $40 bottle.
I mean, it's so crazy, but it is so good. And I hate that it's so difficult to find. You know, we've talked about this before, that like we've seen this on the shelf for, you know, $100.
Dude, like,
that's crazy.
Sometimes people just get outrageous.
You know, and I'm talking about like stores, regular stores, $100. And you know, this is genuinely a $40 bottle.
Yep.
That I've seen it for $50.
But I don't mind paying $50.
And I would pay $50.
I would pay $50.
Yeah.
If I was out,
yeah,
and I couldn't find it anywhere, I'd be okay with paying $50.
Yeah.
Problem is when you start reaching that secondary price of $100,
yeah,
it's
that's
like,
too much.
You know, at $100, there are bourbons out there that, you know, I would pick.
My thing with this one is it's full of flavor.
Yeah.
It's a little bit lower proof. You know, it's, what is it, 90 proof? Yeah.
Yep.
But just full of flavor.
It's very, very good.
Yeah.
Such an enjoyable bottle.
Just a great nose on it.
Well, we're nearing the end of the episode.
So
what's your final thoughts, man?
My final thoughts: don't be afraid to try something new.
Okay.
Right? I mean, that's the theme of tonight's episode.
I agree.
Trying something new. Not so much with the bourbon, but definitely with the cigar.
Yeah.
And for me, I haven't had this in a couple years, and it's almost like I'm experiencing this new with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was good. I've had it before. I knew I loved it. And I don't know, it fell out of the rotation. I don't know what to tell you.
You need to put it
But
back.
I need to put it back.
You need to put it back.
Like, I totally need to put this one back.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of cigars out there that are in that $8 to $10 range.
I agree.
That should totally be in your rotation.
Yeah. So just,
I want to know what you think. Like, what's your final thoughts?
So again, I'm just going to mention the cigar that we're smoking, right? It's the Gispert Intenso Bellicoso. It's a Bellicoso. Box press torpedo. $8 to $10, right? It's a phenomenal cigar at that price point. Full of flavor, full body. And those two things don't normally go together.
It's hard.
There are a lot of cigar manufacturers that make full body cigars that are not full of flavor. They're just strong to be strong.
Right? They overshadow the flavor.
They're strong to be strong.
Yeah.
So this one is a good blend of the two.
Yeah.
Very full flavor, full body, right up my alley. Exactly what I like to smoke. So I'm definitely enjoying it.
Sounds like a purchase is in his future.
Maybe. Both bourbons were very good. The Eagle Rare is great. You can't go wrong with Eagle Rare, especially if you find it at retail at $40. And then the Silver Springs.
I mean, you know,
it's made locally, or not made locally, but bottled locally. Right. So,
but at a decent price.
Yeah.
It's a really good proof.
So again, tell them our requirements for.
All right. So
why we buy that bottle.
So we're talking about, $40, sub $40, at least 100 proof, and at least 4 years. That tastes good.
Yes.
And this is one of those that meets that criteria.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So Silver Springs, great job.
Yeah. Good job.
All right.
I guess
with that being said, we wrapping up?
Oh, let's wrap it up.
All right. Well, I'm Doran. Still no cool nickname, but we might work on it. We might not. My co-host.
Maybe eventually. I'm Jason JB Smoke, and come see us on the next one.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here and rocking with us. We'll see you soon.